Well, French car giant Citroen's latest foray into electrifying its vehicles doesn't actually feature a car at all. The tiny Ami has 4 wheels, but is actually a quadricycle designed for ultra-urban use. The company was forced to abandon production of its small C1 petrol vehicle due to ever-tightening environmental rules. Jamie spoke to Citroen's CEO and asked him how a global car company can meet new green expectations and stay profitable.
Innovate, anticipate, have very appropriate technology, be courageous, and don't look in your rearview mirror to predict the future. So what we've decided in Citroën is, okay, let's put the problem on its head and let's invent something. It's called AMI. It's an urban electric mobility object made for everybody. Can be charged anywhere. A very, very agile, simple, clean urban mobility object. And that's a way to address those challenges.
Car manufacturers like you, the bosses of these big global industries, would like us to believe that buying electric is the decent green thing to do. The truth is, as we both know, public transport around the world is the only honest transport solution to the climate crisis, isn't it?
Individual transport probably contributes, if my data is correct, to 4 or 5% of global CO2 emission. 4 or 5%. It's not an excuse, but it's just putting things in perspective. Obviously, public transport has been historically a pretty good answer in terms of environmental efficiency for transport in the city. No discussion here. 2 issues. 1, many of them, not all of them, but many of them are non-profitable. Second, as we all know, it doesn't bring you from where you are to where you want to be. As a car producer, what is it we're trying to do? We're trying to answer specific parts of this multimodal transport with a relevant solution. Long distance, we're probably going to move to a mix of electricity and something else, because range, at least for the next years, is going to be a challenge. When we talk about short distance, we developed AMI. It's not for everyone, but believe me, it's for quite a lot of people. So it gives you an opportunity to be individually in a clean, compact, zero-emission, affordable transport. Obviously, this is not exclusive from public transport. This is not exclusive from multimodal, but it's our contribution to a very wide and complex subject.
The truth is, many people watching this in countries around the world will tell you quite simply, the electric dream is just that, of politicians and brilliant engineers in companies like yours. The truth is, the infrastructure is not there in much of the world, and boy, it has a long way to go, and you're up against that, aren't you?
You have electricity everywhere in London. You might not have a high-power charging station. The good news with AMI is you can use a standard plug. Plug it when you currently plug your fridge. And by the way, if you look in your streets, you have public lighting. All of this is using electricity. So again, the complexity is in the current answer. We need to look at the problem from a solution point of view and not from a current offer point of view. The second thing, and on which you are absolutely right, is the whole charging infrastructure is facing challenges around Europe and beyond Europe in business model. Because the cost of a charging, the cost of a connection to the grid, the cost of electricity compared to the frequency of charge today is an extremely complex equation. And if you look around Europe, even the most professional charging operators are struggling to be profitable. That's clearly a challenge. That's, I'm sure, something the public policymakers will address in the next 10 years to support the European ambition for 2035 zero-emission new cars.